Hi, Jim Greiner. Hello, Mario Mahar and Carl Alden and Christopher Stile and Thomas DeVerney. Fabrizio. Hey, gang, we had fun the other night, didn't we, on Thursday night? That was a good time. The breaking of the fast. By the way, am I speaking with a lispgate? I know what you're all wondering. Did he drink last night? Did he drink last night? I had a finger of brandy before I went to bed. And for Friday night dinner, I had 2 Heineken Zeros. And I loved them. I loved them. You know what else I love? Parks Casino. Joe Conklin is such a funny guy. I was talking to a friend last night about wanting to get Joe Conklin on the radio on a regular basis. The man of 1,000 voices. He is so good doing Barack Obama, doing Donald Trump, doing Mitch McConnell. He is a Philly treasure. And I bring him up because every other Thursday night at Parks Casino, they've got a comedy night. He's part of it. And it's a great deal. Was it $20, 4 comedians, live music, and your first drink was included. You can't beat that on a Thursday night. They've got plans at the sports book for next Sunday's big game. Are you ready for the big game? The line on that is only like 1 or 2 points. And of course, 3,200 state-of-the-art slots, 115 live table games. I love the Excite Center, which is a great place to go see a comedian. The Dice Man is coming. Tracy Morgan is coming as well. So there's some really great stuff coming to Parks Casino this weekend. Why not go to Parks? If you're in the Northeast, you can get to Parks. Visit parkscasino.com. Parks Casino and Sportsbook. This is how you win. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. And by the way, if a woman approaches you in the parking lot at Parks Casino and asks, will you please drive my car out of the parking space because I'm afraid I'm going to scratch it. It's too narrow next to the other cars. Be a gentleman. Help her out. Thank you. You saw the, as we call it, the thumbnail for this conversation, Data Queen, Taylor Swift. Let me tell you about that, because I was wondering earlier in the week, in the midst of all these nutty conspiracy theories about Taylor Swift, and it's all a cabal to elevate Taylor, the Chiefs win, she can endorse Joe Biden, blah, 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 blah. Fun stuff to think about, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that on CNN necessarily. But I was wondering, what's the power of a celebrity endorsement? Because they all want them, right? The candidates all go after the celebrity endorsements, but what does the data say? So I went to Google Scholar. There is such a thing, by the way, a search engine, Google Scholar, and I put in, I simply put in power of celebrity endorsement. And I got a lot of literature. I didn't have time to get into it, but I took a screenshot, I sent it to my CNN team, and I said, could somebody take a look at this? Who is the person? Who is the person we can get on the program to talk about this issue instead of seat of the pants with a little data and some information? And they said, it is Garth Braithwaite. Let me make sure I get that straight. Craig, wait till you hear this. Holy crap. Craig Garthwaite. Well, I was close. Craig Garthwaite at Kellogg, which is the business school at Northwestern. He's actually looked at the issue. Like, really? Okay, this is great. In what context? And the word came back. He looked at the power of Oprah's endorsement of Obama in 2008. And he assigned a number to it. What was it worth? What was the power of O? So the Kellogg magazine at Northwestern wrote up a little summary of his analysis. Let me read to you a few paragraphs. Many people running for office go out of their way to secure these celebrity endorsements. In the 2012 Republican primary race, for example, this is written in 2012. This is written in 2012. In the 2012 Republican primary race, for example, Mitt Romney has racked up the support of Donald Trump, Kid Rock, and Cindy Crawford. Wait a minute, let's just stop right there. Is that hysterical? In 2012, Romney was sort of relishing the idea that he'd secured the endorsement of Donald Trump. That is really funny. But whether or not these endorsements have an effect has always been an open question. So Craig Garthwaite, an assistant professor of management and strategy at the Kellogg School of Management, and Timothy Moore, a doctoral student at the University of Maryland, decided to take a look. The effect of celebrity endorsements has in the past been a controversial issue. On one side are the pundits and academics who say that celebrity endorsements have no effect whatsoever. On the other side are people who run campaigns, and for these people, time is a very valuable resource, and they often expend a lot of effort to line up endorsements with celebrities. Now I'm going to skip ahead. Garthwaite and Moore found a unique situation in the 2008 Democratic primary. In this election, TV host Oprah Winfrey endorsed then Senator Obama as a presidential candidate. The mega celebrity had never publicly backed a candidate before. She is also extremely popular with a high amount of influence. It's kind of funny because in '08, I remember being I went to the Republican National Convention, which was, I think, St. Paul that year, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Men, are you kidding me? And in the next was Oprah Winfrey. Back to the data. To gauge Oprah's popularity and how it varied geographically, Garthwaite and Moore started by finding the number of subscribers to O, the Oprah magazine, who lived in each county in the United States. Then they compared the number of subscribers in a given area to Obama's electoral success in the same region. After controlling for a wide range of socioeconomic and demographic factors, sex, education, race, income, to name a few, the authors found that Obama did better. Obama did better in areas with more O subscribers. In the study, the researchers wanted to make sure that they were picking up an effect of the endorsement and not just an underlying preference for Obama that was correlated with preferences for Oprah. To check that they were only detecting Oprah's influence in voters, Garthwaite and Moore looked for geographic variation in O subscribers in President Obama's past electoral experiences, in particular his '04 Democratic primary race for the Senate. And what did they find? Overall, they calculated that Oprah's endorsement was worth about 1 million votes for Obama. And Obama beat Hillary by only 278,966 votes in the states they used in the sample. There's more to it. That's the Cliff Note version. So with that in mind, the question that I ask is, what's the power of a Taylor Swift endorsement of Joe Biden? And everybody has talked about, the significance of it if she would embrace him, but no one really drilled down on a particular reason, like why it could matter, until Eric X, the CEO and intern, said to me, it's all about the data. It's all about micro-targeting. It's all about the information that if she's willing to tap into it, that Taylor Swift has at her fingertips. We went back and we looked at some of the metrics associated with Taylor Swift to make this point, and we're going to do this on television today. 279 million. That's the number of followers she has on Instagram. That is a touch away from giving them a message. 4.35 million, the number of tickets sold for the Eras tour. 1 billion, that's the tour record-shattering revenue total. 26.1 billion, the number of Swift's global streams on Spotify, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on and on, but the point is that she has control of great info. I mean, she knows if you've been naughty or nice. She knows if you came, to the tour and at which stop. She knows your T-shirt size and whether you like the mug. And most importantly, those who are most likely to follow her are exactly the demo that Joe Biden needs. Female, young, passionate. So that's the significance of a Taylor Swift endorsement. Should she it? Maybe she wants to sell sneakers to Republicans too, and she's going to try and stay out of the race, even though she has been a bit political in the past. So that's why data queen is the theme of this conversation. You take a look at Oprah. And by the way, I think that's a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good comparison. You know, who is on Taylor Swift's level in terms of celebrity cachet? Nobody I can think of. Nobody I can think of. And I think that Oprah Winfrey in '08. I think Oprah Winfrey in '08 was probably at about the same level. Don't you think? Is there a better comparison? I have a quick question, which is there any other name? Is there any other name that you can think of who is at that level? Anybody else on a celebrity basis who comes close to Taylor Swift right now? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think nobody's got a name. Nobody's got a name. So I'm going to have that conversation today. Obviously, I'm going to get into the response to the Iran proxies. I've got a great guest in General David Deptula to talk about that. I don't know. The initial attack was what, last Sunday? It just seems to me like everything was telegraphed. We didn't go into Iran, and I'm not thumping on my chest and saying, "Oh, go into Iran." If anything, I'm concerned about what's going on big picture in the Middle East. That Peter Bergen piece that I quoted the other day on radio, and I'm going to quote again on television, where in some form of skirmish right now in the Middle East, you have Jordan, Iran, Syria, Pakistan, the US, UK, Iran's proxies in Iraq, Lebanon, and Yemen, and 4 different terror groups. And like, why are we in so many places? And I know some of you will say, well, we have to be there so that we can swiftly respond. But my God, if we weren't there, I don't know that we would have these problems. But when you allow 5 days to go off the clock before there's a response, I'm sure whomever mattered to Tehran was brought home. So what is the significance of it? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being tuned in. I hope you'll watch the CNN program today. The poll question at Smerconish.com asks today whether Taylor Swift could determine the outcome of the presidential election. Could Taylor Swift determine the outcome of the presidential election? Go vote at Smerconish.com. I appreciate you being here. I will see you soon on television.